What is up, guys? My name is Schroeder, and I help new and experienced resellers grow their businesses to $3,000 to $4,000 in profit per month using my organic and simple paid marketing strategies for phone flipping so that they can grow and attain their goals that they have set for themselves. In every single video that I'm going to be posting for you guys on my YouTube, on Facebook, I can promise that I can give you and deliver one thing that you can implement today that will help you get started in your business, grow, and excel in that business. Before I get started, I do want to answer a couple of questions that I usually get, and then I'm going to get into my phone flipping story, okay? So before I get started, does this business work? Yes, it works pretty much anywhere. I've helped over 200 people implement the system that I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about that I went through personally when it comes to flipping and reselling phones and electronics. Will it work for you? That's another huge question that I get. The story that I'm going to be telling you guys today. Will it work for you? The answer again is pretty much yes. If you have, access to a smartphone, Wi-Fi, and internet, yes, you can make money with this. Okay? And then the last question that I usually get, and this is going to tie into my story big time. Do I need a lot of money? So you only need like a couple $100, maybe even like $100. I started with $200, and you guys are going to hear that. And then maybe 1 to 2 hours a day, and then you're kind of good to go. So guys, let's talk about my phone flipping story. Okay, I want to walk around a little bit. I'm in an Airbnb. I just got done with a mastermind. So 6 years ago, I started flipping phones. Right, 6 years ago, I started flipping phones, but 6 years ago, before I started flipping phones and electronics, one thing that I was doing is I was working at a restaurant, okay? I was working at a restaurant. My wife was pregnant. We were basically living off of what I made, from tips, right? I was relying on other people to make money, right? So it was tough, right? It was a tough thing at the time. I was doing okay as a server, but we had a child on the way, my first son, and things were really difficult. So I still remember it to this day. We had a hurricane, so I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to do anything really, and I saw an ad on Facebook. It was David Kosciuszko. For those of you guys who don't know, he is my mentor. He still mentors me to this day. Anyway, I found his ad on Facebook, and I saw that he was buying and reselling electronics. So I was like, oh, that seems easy enough. So I downloaded the ebook. If you guys want the ebook, I have a brand new one in the description below in the resources. So you can check that out. But I downloaded that ebook, and I printed it out, and I got started. I posted my first ad. And it's kind of funny. I got a couple of responses, right? I got a couple of responses, and I bought 2 phones. So there's a little story behind this too. We had about $200 in the bank account. $200. That's all we had in the bank account. And I told my wife, babe, I'm gonna go buy these phones and I'm gonna resell them with this $200. Oh gosh, she was like, my wife is very supportive of me, but in this time she was very unsure of this one, right? I mean, how crazy does it sound, right? Well, what ended up happening is I bought the phones. I bought 2 iPhones. They were both iCloud locked. I spent $200 on them, and they were both iCloud locked. At that time, they were both 2 6S Pluses, so iPhone 6S Pluses. And I couldn't do anything with them. They were bricked, is what we call them, pretty much. They were parts-only devices. And I lost a good chunk of our money on the deal. I mean, I was only able to sell the devices for about $30 a piece. Due to that. So my first, let's stand up. My first go around in this whole business didn't work out very well, right? But that was okay. That was a learning experience, right? At the time, though, it was devastating. It was terrible, right? I just lost $200. That's money that we needed to buy groceries and that type of thing, right? So my wife wasn't too happy with me, but me being the entrepreneur that I am, I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep going with this. I'm gonna keep trying, and I'm gonna figure this out because I know this is something that I can do. Now, I do want to point out that I was in college at the time, going after a degree that I didn't really want, so just kind of falling into place, right? It just didn't really work out when it came to college for me. I always knew that I was an entrepreneur at heart, and that's kind of where all of that led, right? So I started looking for more devices, right? With the little amount of money that I have, I started buying really cheap phones for $10, $20, pretty much anything that I could get. The first phone that I ever sold on eBay, I got scammed. It was one of the scams where they message you and they say, hey, ship it to this address instead, that kind of thing. And then, I lost my money on that one too. So, I had a few failures, right? And I'm telling you guys this because you're going to fail, okay? That needs to be addressed. You're going to fail. All right, I failed multiple times, okay? So let's kind of fast forward a few months, right? I actually finally get this a little bit, right? And I was able to get to about $1,000 in sales a month, which was about $300 to $400 in profit. And then I had another big loss, huge loss. I bought an iPhone X, and I sold it, right? Sold it on eBay, and then the buyer was like, "Hey, I don't like it," and then I was scared. Okay, I was scared to get my first return. It was also the first time I'd ever mailed anything through the post office as well. So that was another big deal for me. I had actually never mailed anything before. It was kind of wild. But I lost $800 on that iPhone X. I lost $800. I bought the phone and I lost $800. So why do I tell you guys this? Why is this part of my story, right? Well, it's because it's important. I want you guys to know that I have failed. I have failed in this business multiple times. I had multiple failures before I ever had success in this business. Okay, that I want to address that. But I didn't stop. Okay, I never stopped, even though I had quite a few number of losses after this, right? So what I did is I kept moving, I kept going, right? I kept flipping these small items, right? The ones that didn't have really any risk of me, getting refunds and different things like that, right? For a while, I only flipped Androids, simply because I was terrified of iPhones, because I'd actually never used iPhones until I started flipping phones. And anyway, I got back to the $1,000 a month, and I coasted there at $400 in profit, $1,000 a month for about 6 months. I was there for about 6 months, and I couldn't break past it. Like anything that I did, I tried telling, I tried the whole line that some other people use. Things like, oh, well, let me ask my boss about it, that kind of thing. I tried that. I tried so many different tactics that I thought would work, and they just didn't. They just didn't work. Or they didn't work for me anyway, right? So I finally caved in, and I decided to work with Dave. And this isn't, Dave is retired from this, right? So he's not coaching or anything anymore. But I decided to work with Dave, and the next month I did $4,000 in sales, and I made my very first $1,000 profit month. I was ecstatic. Let's fast forward about 6 months. 6 months later, I was being interviewed as a 10K superstar, and I had made I think it was $3,800 in profit off of $10,000 in sales. Fast forward 6 months later, I was doing $6,000 to $8,000 a month in profit flipping phones and other electronics at that point. I wasn't just flipping phones anymore. One thing that I teach my students is you need to flip more than just phones, okay? So I tell you guys my story because I want you, I'm sure many of you can relate with this. I'm sure many of you guys have been down to your last $200. Or maybe you've bought an iCloud locked phone, or maybe you've done these things that, ultimately you thought were the end all be all, right? They're not, okay? None of these things are going to ruin you or your business that you're trying to build, okay? Even a couple of months later, I was doing $10,000 profit months. Right now, I'm in a new area. I'm already back up, brand new area. I've been here for 50 days, and I'm already back up to $3,500 profit months. It's wild. This business is insane. It's fantastic, right? You can do it anywhere. It's amazing, okay? The reason I tell you guys this is because I believe in you guys, okay? I believe in you guys. If you want to start a reselling business, just go out there and do it. You're going to fail. Just know this. You're going to fail along the way. One of my mentors always told me, he's like, if you want to succeed faster, you need to fail faster. Because failure is the best way to learn. Okay? So, but that's kind of my story, guys. Nowadays, I'm still reselling. Actually, I tried to retire like 3 times, but my repeat customers just started mailing me phones. So, and then other people wanted to become students as well. So that ended up happening too. So I'm in this business for the long haul now. I really enjoy what I do. But one thing about the reselling business, guys, one thing that it allowed me to do. So I'm currently at a mastermind event right now. None of this would have ever been possible without reselling. Okay, so you can see my Airbnb here. This is my Airbnb that I'm at. There's a pool outside and stuff like that. But guys, I've done over a $500,000 in sales with marketing and stuff now. But I want to point out that all of that started with reselling electronics. All of that started there. That was my big stepping stone. Okay, so you guys have massive potential in yourself. Find that potential, okay? If you want help finding that potential, reach out. You can also join my Facebook group or something like that, right? There's a lot of resources that I try to give you guys to help you guys find that potential. You guys can do this business, okay? This is my story. I hope it helps you guys out, and I hope you guys go and you win, okay? Go and win. I'm excited for you guys. I want you guys to win. I'm on a mission to help 200 more resellers this year leave their 9-to-5s, okay? So if you guys want to work with me, you can, just check out the links below. But the real reason here, guys, is I want you guys to believe in yourself when it comes to reselling electronics, okay? This is my story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.